Being a dentist, working in a dental office is not easy, but we are here to help. My name is Paul, Dr. Nacho Goodman. I'm a dentist, founder of Dental Nachos and Dentist Job Connect, and here to help you increase success, decrease stress, and most of all, reduce the number of times you feel like crying inside a day. On Talking Nachos, I have amazing guests and sponsors that are here to help you with all types of your stress inside the operatory and outside the operatory. One of the special things we have coming up at Dental Nachos is Super Dentist Boost Camp. You can come in person in Philadelphia. We help you learn how to be a successful dental practice owner. This is for practice owners who purchased a practice in the last 10 years, or for associate dentists looking to purchase a practice in the next few years. There's an in-person and online component. To learn more about it, just text BOOST to 215-543-6454. It is a totally transformative event, and you do not want to miss out. I'm ready for my first guest, and my team is ready to bring up. So share with us, our audience, who you are and what you do to help dentists increase success, decrease stress, and most of all, reduce the number of times they feel like crying inside a day.
So good morning, and I'm Dr. Shah, Amisha, and I was a practicing dentist in Southern California for the last 14-15 years. Went through a lot of stress to start my own practice or my own business. There was a huge learning curve, led to a lot of health challenges, lot of stress, overwhelm. So I figured, what can I do best to help fellow dentists like myself? So I designed a program called Nirvana for Dentists, or it's called a mini nutshell MBA. And really,
Nice.
I really wish I had this program when I started my practice, to open my eyes as a young entrepreneur to learn more about business operation,
Yeah.
like all together, put together, because I had to spend countless hours putting things together, going to different seminars. At that time, we didn't have a lot of webinars or things like
Yeah.
that. Everything was you
It
had
was
to
the
attend.
olden days, Amy. When did you graduate from dental school?
I graduated in 2002 from Boston
Yeah, same
University.
as me, 2002 from
Oh,
Penn. I had
all right.
a Hotmail account and 4 friends. They didn't know the answer. We're out of luck. So the kids these days, I want to they're so lucky. Podcast, webinars, nicer scrubs. My scrubs were shapeless cardboard. Their dental school debt is nacho nuts, though, so I feel for them on that. So you talk about the overwhelm factor, right? So if we talk about OF, the overwhelm factor, what was that for you? I felt it as a practice owner, whether it's you or your clients. What are they overwhelmed about?
I thought the whole thing of, learning how to be a business owner, managing your staff, at the same time focusing on your clinical
Yeah.
work, at the same time dealing with state law, with compliance, with
Yeah.
licensing. There came a point where I thought everybody on earth is going to sue me. Like, they're out to sue me. My patients are out to sue me. My licensing, everything, my staff. So, it took me some time and a lot of learning to get to that level. So I said, a time has come when I have to step up the plate and tell all my fellow doctors, look, there is bad cholesterol and there is good cholesterol, right? But we all
Yeah.
learn with hard way, that I learned through my practice, how to learn to reduce stress to become a good cholesterol person.
I like
Same
that.
way, same way, I want to tell doctors, dentists, our fellow doctors, like, if you learn early, let's convert your bad stress to good stress
Love
and
that.
let's have fun.
And one of the things I really think is awesome is you've created something that you wish you had sooner. You wish you had earlier in your career. You wish someone had given you this roadmap. So when people text MBA to 215-543-6454, just give us a little context for how this program works. Is it on Zoom? Do they watch recordings? Do they talk to you? A combination? Tell us about that.
Yes. So, what I thought would be the easiest way that we all learned during COVID was to learn at our own pace. So, it is
Yeah.
a nutshell mini MBA. It's actually a 10-week program, and it's a combination of live learning, live like a combination of via Zoom, as well as learning at your own pace.
Awesome.
So it's designed like that. And I really want to hear from all the doctors. Doesn't matter if they fit in the program or no. That's why I offer a free coaching call, where I really would like to know what bothers them, because I felt that I had maxed out my friends and family and my fellow doctors. Everybody only has 24 hours, and I had
Yeah.
no one. I want to be there, and I don't want anybody to think that I'm out to, get some of the money that you have because you have the dentist label. But I'm here as a friend and a mentor. And if it's not a good fit, I would really love to bring resources to you to calm you down and help you enjoy your practice again. So
I love
that's
that. I mean, that's so authentic, Amy. So people can get a free consult call with you. Basically, you ask them, can you do for me this one favor, Amy? On the call, can you just say, hey, what makes you cry inside? Because
yes.
Dr. Nacho wanted to know what makes you cry inside. And sometimes that is my team members quit. I can't find new team members. I'm struggling to, the team we have to put together for dentistry, it's so complex, from hygienist to front desk to assistants. And when it all works well, there's nothing better. And when there's problems, you want to just run and hide. So you really help dentists with this. So I just want you to share as we wrap up. People text MBA to 215-543-6454. They can both learn about your program and get a free coaching call.
Yes, they can go to our website on amisha.coach. They can book a free call. They can learn about the program. If they find a time doesn't work for them, please email us so that we can work out something that is feasible. Because I used to feel like that. Hey, these times don't work for me. I'm
Yeah.
busy. This is East Coast. This is West Coast. So really the goal is to reach out. And I really believe the Nachos philosophy that we should have fun while running our
Yeah.
business and not end up with arthritis and stuff that I
It
had
is
to go
not
through.
it is not illegal for dentists to have fun. I love that, Amy. Well, you're doing the work of the Lord GV Black. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much for sharing with us and supporting our group as a sponsor. So proud to have you here.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
Thanks, Amy. Awesome job. So as you can see, you can learn the things that dental school does not teach. You can learn the things that will help you really be successful. Reach out to our key resources and sponsors. I'm ready for my next guest, and my team is ready. Awesome. So I'd like this person to share who you are and what you do to help dentists.
Okay, well, a lot of people know me. I'm Carl Kerner. I live in Utah. And for several years now, we've been having courses available for general dentists to be better at surgical extractions. You know, Paul, last week was a busy week. We had a course here in Utah. 6 dentists flew in from around the country. We had 3 instructors. Awesome. We treated 60 or 70 indigent patients, a lot of extractions, a lot of full arches where you have to do alveoplasties. Good for immediate dentures if you do those. And if, by the way, if you don't do those, the technology on immediate dentures has really skyrocketed just lately. You can scan the mouth and then have the immediate denture within 7 working days.
That's awesome. Amazing. Carl, you've done so much for this community. I've known you for many years. I have to share that I admire you. Live streamed an extraction I watched, I think in 2005 with my dad at the Greater New York Dental Meeting. And I was blown away by how cool that was. And look, here we are live streaming now. So you've had helped many dentists in our community. Even if we just start with square one, why should a general dentist look to do more extractions? What's the motivating factor? You work with so many, whether it's from getting better jobs, helping more patients. What are they coming to you? What is the dentist pain that has them coming to you?
Well, mostly it's their patients want them to do it. And they're embarrassed that they have to refer that out. It's a simple extraction. They're referring everything out. Yes, some simples become more difficult. That's what we're here for, so that they can go through the steps that we share with them to make them doable, in a short amount of time, like no more than 10 minutes, 8 minutes.
I think that's the key. I did a general practice residency, and, if you can't count on predictability, you worry you're going to throw the whole schedule off. But then when you can figure out how to troubleshoot, and one of the things that you shared over the pandemic, I think was so valuable, was that why is an associate dentist more valuable to an office? How can it help them with their employment, their production, paying off their student loans by simply going to your center and learning surgical extractions?
Well, for sure. And people want to hire someone with a broad range of skills, not just restorative. I mean, restorative is great, but if you can't do extractions, if you can't do endo, if you can't do certain other things, what good are you? I mean, you need to be of value to the person that you're working with or for. So, we just want people, general dentists, to be more comfortable. We give them steps. If this doesn't work, you do that. If that doesn't work, you do that. If that doesn't work, you just quote, get it done,
I like that, Colonel. I just want to add to that. There's not really emergency beard trims out there, but let's just say I need an emergency beard trim. If I went to my barber and my main barber was busy, I would take their associate because I have an emergency. So as someone who's hired associates and help people hire associates through Job Connect, patients who need extractions are very willing to give an associate a chance rather than leave the office because they're familiar with the office. And then I found in my experience, many 40 to 60-year-old dentists are doing so many other things that they don't feel like taking out the elevator and doing that extraction. Yeah. So it's perfect. And tell us just a little bit about the time in Utah. Can anyone come from any 50 states, or do you have to have a Utah license?
No. So first of all, we do have a course that's not that advanced. It's with models. We would prefer that they did that first. Gotcha. If they haven't done that and then they get to working with patients and a busy schedule, they're kind of slowing the whole team down, all of us, because they don't know the basics well enough. Now, some do. If they've had a GPR, AEGD, military training, they do. But, if you're out of school, you don't know much nowadays unless you went to Roseman or a few schools. UNLV is good. A few others are good. But some of the others, I talk to the graduates and they're a year out and they say, how many surgical extractions did you do in school? And they say none, so that's kind of the way it is. It's too bad. Just to say an anecdote here, I was in California last week. I was invited to speak at the California Dental Association meeting, and it was really an honor. But in my class, we filled up the classroom. We had 220 in the morning, 220 in the afternoon. They're all general dentists. And I was talking and then they were asking questions. It was so fun for me to do that and to give them the pearls they need to go back and do things with predictability, and we also teach what ones not to do. There are red flags, they need to know those red flags. That's part of learning what to do, is learning what not to do.
I want to tell a quick story for everybody. When I was out of my general practice residency, Carl, multiple year, my dad's partner put extractions in my schedule without telling me. And it was at 2:00 and I could see they were going to be very difficult. So I knew enough to punt, and I actually got the patient in with an oral surgeon that day. I called on the phone. This is like 2006. And I felt bad, that I had to refer him out. So I called him that night and, this is olden days, left a message. He didn't call me back till the next day. And I said, I want to see how it went. He goes, that oral surgeon took over an hour to get my teeth out. They were so tough. And it made me feel good, not that he had a tough time, but tough cases are tough for anyone. They're tough for Carl Kroner. They're tough for the oral surgeon who's done thousands. So I think that's so key. You teach what to do, but also what cases to avoid.
Yeah, there are some teeth that are just plain harder, and we're not talking about impaxons here. Like an upper first molar with a really long palatal root can be tough, and that maybe should be referred. Yeah. Canines, we're getting to be in everyone's wheelhouse now because we can use the skinny burr and go down the side of the canine, down 3/4 of the root length, and remove the bone from the PDL. So there are certain techniques nowadays that people may not know about where we can actually excise single roots with the skinny burr luxator technique.
Yeah, they're always making improvements. Well, Carl, you have been such a supporter. When people text this number, text Carl to 215-543-6454. I know they get a Nacho discount as a sponsor. Just leave us with what courses do you have coming up next? Which ones do you want to highlight?
Well, okay, so we just got through with the one with patient treatment. We have another one coming up. It's going to be posted on our site. It was going to be the 1st of August. I think we're changing it to the first week in September instead. We just want to maximize how many people can come. We don't have any trouble filling the patient treatment course. We also have courses every couple months in Chicago with one of our instructors. These are vetted instructors that are excellent teachers. Also in Dallas, those are the model courses. So they can just go to our website and see where these model courses are. We max out at 30 with 2 instructors. People get to do it on the model before they do it on the patient. So it's a really good thing. We also have an entry-level implant course that is patient treatment in Utah, and also a third molar impaction course in Dallas, where it's three of the nights are actually evenings of the Saturday before, so that they don't have to miss work. They can do webinars in the evening and then show up on Saturday in Dallas to work on models and actually watch a case in progress.
Well, you have the full Nacho plate. 100% of extractions, Carl, are not easy, but I know something, 100% of dentists like to save money. So people can text Carl to 215-543-6454. You've given us a generous Nacho discount, and I can't thank you enough. I admire you. I think you have as a mentor, and so appreciate you supporting our community.
Well, and likewise, I admire you so much for what you've done for the profession, and especially for general dentists. It's awesome. I'm glad to be on there and contribute as I can.
Awesome, Carl. Thanks so much. Appreciate you sharing today.
Thank you.
So as you guys can see, we have so many amazing ways to help you increase success and decrease stress. I'm ready for my next guest, so my team is ready. So thank you for joining us here. I'd like you to share who you are and what you help dentists do to increase success, decrease stress, and reduce crying inside.
Hey, what's happening? Excited to be here. My name is Ryan Naylor. I'm the founder of Viva HR. And Viva HR, well, first of all, we all know why you really cry, and that's employees. It is tough to have great employees, not only finding them, but stick around. So that's what Viva HR does, is we're recruiting automation software. We're not a staffing company. We're not a recruiting company. In fact, they use us to post their jobs. So we give you all the tools in our tool belt to use on your own. And as you said earlier, to save money. That's one common thing all dentists have, is we want to save some money. So you can automate all the job postings to all the job boards with one click.
I love that, Ryan. I mean, one of the things I share about being a dentist is the biggest stress, I'll say it, is no bench. In sports, if someone can't play, you have a backup player. In dentistry, when your dental assistant can't play, it causes total chaos. And some of these are for reasons that are good reasons, not so good reasons, sad reasons, successful reasons. But walk us through this. Like, I'm a dental practice owner. How would I use Viva HR to help my office?
I think first I have to understand where job seekers are going, whether it's a dental assistant, a hygienist. They all start with Google. They're all on their phone. They start with Google, looking for a local job near me. And you got to see what the results are. And a lot of times now, Google owns their own job board, so that's taking a huge market share. You got Indeed and ZipRecruiter and all the big job boards. So you really have to ask yourself, how do I get in front of those candidates? How do I get my story in front of the searchers? And so a lot of these job boards allow full organic postings. Now, a lot of that is to comply with Google's search standards. If you have a job board and it's 100% pay to play, Google doesn't like that. And it's been very public about it, actually. There has to be what's considered UGC, which is user-generated content, in order to comply with Google search. So a lot of these job boards will allow 60 to 70% of their results all organic. It's all backfill, organic feed. And it comes from publishers. So it comes from places like Viva HR. So we're able to take that relationship, we take your job posting, and we publish it out to all 93 different job boards that we integrate with. And it's 100% free organic traffic, unlimited clicks, candidates, and job postings for a flat fee, for our software fee. But you don't pay anything extra. There's no sponsorship fee. There's no placement fee. There's no contingency fee. It's 100% organic traffic. Awesome,
man. What's one of the most popular positions you guys are filling now that you see from dental offices, or the biggest need?
Oh, I mean, dental assistant. Dental assistant is like a no-brainer, number one. To your point, building a bench is almost non-existent in this industry. But I think what a lot of dental practices really miss, and I think they could stop, their tears will dry up if they understand this one concept. And that is, you don't always have to build a bench and have people employed. You can always build a pipeline bench.
Pipeline, yes.
So having a job posting out there that even clearly indicates, hey, we're building a bench of qualified candidates, and we are going to collect your information. And with Viva HR, you send one text. You can group them by tags, skill sets, ratings, your scorecard, and all of a sudden you create that saved filter, and you can bulk select them and send them all a text message one morning and say, hey, we have a crucial need right now. who can jump in. Whoever responds first gets it. That happens.
No, for sure.
In the employers that do it, they're not crying.
And also this time of the year, our team members take well-deserved vacations, but it also causes voids inside of our schedules. And toothaches don't take a day off. I wish they did. I wish they did. I wish they said Sunday, no one's eating any hard food or breaking anything. But, toothaches do not take a day off. Broken teeth do not take a day off. And I think it's just so awesome that you've created this sophisticated way for dental practices to solve the number one stress, and that's putting the team on the field. And I've been doing this for 20 years, and it's becoming progressively harder to put a full team on the field. And it's not always for bad reasons. People move on from your practices. They go into different professions. They move across the country, but then you immediately have to leap into action. And it sounds like connecting with Viva HR as early as possible is a good move.
Well, I'll tell you the other thing. Not only is it hard to find candidates have a lot of options. So you think of the other side of the coin. So you have to ask yourself, if I put out a job posting and the posting is 2 sentences with 3 bullet points that says, we're only working this many hours, and if you're a complainer, I don't want you on my practice. Guess what? That doesn't seem that appealing to the candidates. So
100%.
we trademarked a phrase called culture marketing, and we are huge advocates of it. And the dental practices that embrace this are crushing their recruiting goals. And it's simple. Tell a culture story that aligns with what the candidates care about.
Love it. That's awesome.
And we allow you to build these micro landing pages that peg to the job posting. Take some pictures, show your office, have a company barbecue, show that family side that you all talk about.
Yeah.
Now demonstrate it. Show the candidate what you really mean. And that's going to drive conversion rates 10x.
Absolutely love it. Well, I appreciate you supporting our community. When people text Viva to 215-543-6454, what's their next step? Do they fill out a landing page? Do they give you information? Wrap us up with that.
Yeah, we have a special package for all Dental Nacho community members where they're going to get a wholesale discount rate. We're using the buying pool of all of these dentists to really kind of get a wholesale rate for you guys. So feel free to Google recruiting dental software. We're number one. This is our focus. This is what we strive for, is to really help you with automating and growing your hiring process.
Awesome. Well, so appreciate what you're doing to support our community. It's so needed. Thanks so much for sharing with us today.
My pleasure. Thank you.
So you guys are just getting so many great toppings to decrease your stress. So many great toppings to increase success. I'm ready for my next guest, and my team is ready. Awesome. Share with us who you are and what you do in the dental space to help dentists cry less inside.
Absolutely. Well, my name is Josh Gosnell. I run the business development department over here at Addit. What Addit is we are a cloud-based patient communication and analytics software. How we help a lot of practices have a very common issue that we solve. And that's, having one company that you're paying to do your VoIP phone system. And then maybe having a second software that you're paying to do your analytics and your KPI dashboards. A lot of the time there's a third or a fourth software, whether that's online scheduling, whether it's reputation management, whatever it is. Addit takes all of those things and brings them into one centralized location to where all of those different features that you're using every day actually work together, so that you're not having to use 3 or 4 different platforms and have different logins and different user interfaces, et cetera.
Yeah, I mean, as a practice owner who's grown up through the even not having computer days, there's so many cool things that you can do, but also it can cause just chaos inside of your practice. So
100%.
Tell us, who is the dentist out there that would most benefit from this? Someone who just bought a practice, someone who's scaling a practice, but walk us through kind of a story of who should be doing a demo with Addit so they can streamline all of this.
Well, I would say that it's a pretty good fit for almost anyone. Honestly, we're the only company on the market that truly offers everything within one place. So absolutely, a new dentist that's acquiring a practice or starting a practice for the first time, these are going to be things that they're going to need, in the new age of dentistry in order to be able to efficiently and effectively run and grow their practice. At the same time, there are a ton of practices right now that are using softwares like this already, but they're paying 4 different companies in order to do it, and they can bring all of that into one place with Addit. And a lot of the time that comes with significant cost savings. There's a lot of clients that are saving $6,000, $8,000, $10,000 a year just on their overhead, bottom line profit, by bringing all of those softwares they're paying to into one place.
Well, unlike Trident, 5 out of 5 dentists love saving money. Josh, now just, you do these shows to educate dentists, right? So maybe there's an associate dentist, a dental student, someone who just acquired a practice. What is the impact of using this technology on, let's say, patient treatment plan acceptance? People thinking you know what you're doing, your team members not running around. I mean, I literally grew up in my dad's practice. We used to write the schedule on a big paper book. So
100%.
just if you kind of educate our community about how does this technology help you on a day-to-day basis?
Oh man, do you have 3 hours?
Yeah.
There's so many different ways that this is going to impact your practice. I'll give you just a couple just off the bat that would help. First, from a new patient perspective, especially for someone that's starting a practice, you need new patients. It's the lifeblood of your practice, right? Most patients are searching for a doctor or a dentist on nights and weekends, right? So whenever they come across your website, that is going to be your first impression that they get of you. Now, if they make the buying decision that you're the practice that they want to come to, you want them to be able to complete that buying decision.
Yeah.
Right. So having a schedule that actually integrates with your Open Dental or your Dentrix, your EagleSoft, whatever, and having that on your website to where I can say, hey, I'm a new patient. I'm looking for a new patient exam and consult, and and I'd like to come in next week. And they can actually go in and book that.
I want to interject, Josh, because I don't know if you're going to go to dental school, but I'm going to guess not. But one of the toughest part about being a dentist is people opening up conversations telling you how much they hate you, which is rather unkind, right? But what I found through online scheduling, just as a tool, is your patients are thinking about you at 2 a.m. sometimes, right?
Yeah.
And it kind of, I say it tongue in cheek because that might be the only time the mom or dad has time to make appointments. But I actually kind of get inspired in my route to say, oh man, somebody was making their hygiene visit at midnight. So I think online scheduling, totally key. And think about us for a second. And it's interesting. While you were talking, I made a note about getting a beard trim online and I need to go. But I probably would never make that call. So you are definitely missing out on patients who just simply are not going to pick up the phone and call.
Yeah. And even if they put in a contact request, I mean, think about what the alternative is. The alternative, if I don't have the option to schedule, maybe you've got a contact form on the website, then, I'm coming in 3 days later.
Yeah.
And, I'm waiting on the staff to call me. Maybe I'm at work. I missed that call. I call back. It's after hours. You go through this whole, line of things to try to get that appointment booked to where that patient, it's not unlikely that they just click on the next dentist website and book an appointment.
Totally. I am with you. That's, they talk about CTA as call to action, but I think of as capture the attention. Good acronym there. Give us one more thing that this technology does. I know you have many, but one more thing before we wrap up on how we talk about online scheduling. What's another way that Addit will help improve your patient experience, your team stress?
I'll give you kind of a dual threat one here. So number one, having your analytics and your KPIs. In order to properly run any business, you have to know your numbers, right?
Yeah.
There's a quote that I love that's you can't manage what you can't measure.
Yeah.
Right. So making sure that what your ground level is, where are you starting from, what metrics are you putting up, and how are these metrics changing over time? Now, with that, you start to realize certain insights of your practice. I'll give you an example. A lot of practices will sit with over $1 million in unscheduled treatment from active patients on their books, right? And when you're looking at that dashboard every day and you're seeing 7 figures in unscheduled treatment from your patients from the last 6 months, maybe you want to go and target them, right? The second part of that is, okay, how are you doing that? How are you going about it? First of all, do you have a way to pull all the patients that fit that criteria? If you do, how are you contacting them?
Yeah.
So are you taking it to the front desk and saying, hey, I need you to call these 700 patients.
Right. Yeah.
Right? And, it's taken, 3 hours a day, every day for a month in order to do that. Well, the other part of Addit and having it to where it speaks with those analytics is being able to say, hey, I want to see this list, but I also want to contact them.
Right.
Right. So being able to mass select and being able to send out a mass text, using that in conjunction with the scheduling piece. So taking the link to your schedule, putting it in that mass text, and now saying, hey, we know you got some unscheduled treatment with us that you haven't been able to schedule yet. Here's our availability for the next couple of weeks. Go ahead and book yourself.
I love it. You should call that 1 + 1 = case acceptance. So
Exactly. And you'll see practices book 40, 50K in production from sending out a text that takes them 5 minutes to pull the list, create the text, send it out.
yeah, because text right now, text cuts through the noise. Well, when people text add it to 215-543-6454, just wrap us up. What should they expect as a Nacho community member with you guys as a sponsor? They're going to text add it to 215-543-6454. What's the next step?
Yeah, absolutely. I just say just set up a demo. We're offering a $50 Amazon gift card just for checking us out. There are no strings attached to that. But we've also got some amazing discounts, some monthly price promotions as well. But we'll set you up and take you through the software.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Josh, for sharing with us. Really, really valuable information. Appreciate you supporting our community.
Appreciate you having me. Thank you.
As you guys are learning so much about the things they just simply don't teach in dental school, from coaching, from surgical extractions, from HR, from technology. I'm ready for my next guest, and my team is ready to bring them up. Thanks for being on here with us. Share with us who you are and what you do to help dentists.
Yeah, you bet. My name is John Voller, and I am with Integrity Practice Protect. So we talk about a subject that maybe a little bit more on the macabre side, and something that maybe dentists don't like to think about, right? And that's an emergency plan. So I'd love to be able to have the ability to take a raise of hands and see how many dentists actually have an emergency plan. If heaven forbid they passed away, they weren't able to perform dentistry because of whatever, a slip and fall, and they weren't able to physically be able to.
I'll represent the dental world for this and say not nearly enough. As someone who's sold practices, I've sadly been on the front lines of a emotional catastrophe with the practice owner dying suddenly, that it turned into a financial catastrophe, turned into a practice catastrophe. So I think it is so important that we think about what I call, it's a family show, John, but we think about the fun parts and also the effed up parts of our lives. And this is one of them. So share with us, you talked about Practice Protect. What do you guys do? Somebody's watching as a practice owner, they're 53 years old. They say, I want to live to be 93, but you never know. What do they do with you to help them protect their practice?
Right. So we have 5 components to the emergency plan. Number 1, we have up-to-date documents and practice information, right? And so each dentist is given their own private portal on the cloud that they can come and we can use their office manager, we can use their CPA, we can use their CFP, we can use their attorney, whatever, to gather and compile all the documents that we need to have that emergency plan in place, if heaven forbid they would ever need to capture all of those documents, right? So one of the pushbacks that sometimes we hear is, well, I'll just call my attorney, or I'll just call my CPA, or I'll just call my office manager to get all the information. Well, your family's not exactly going to know everyone to contact to get everything that they need, to have everything in place, to have a go-to-market strategy. And what's so important about the go-to-market strategy is the 8A statistics show after someone is not able to practice or there's a death, heaven forbid, the practice value goes down as much as 25 to 35% in the first 2 weeks.
Yeah, we should put that out in our group. I just learned, it's so, you've worked your entire life. Your dad, your mom, your sister, your brothers worked their entire life. And whether you need the money, whether you don't need the money, whether it's just demoralizing to have this asset that you've built your entire life lose value so quickly, because the value is in the goodwill of that dentist being there, and the dentist isn't there. So right off the bat, protect the value of your practice, protect the sign. And one thing, John, I can teach you to talk dentist. So when they push back and say, I'll just call my attorney, just say, this is the biggest treatment plan of their entire life. So it would be like calling the endodontist to learn about the crowns in your mouth, and that's the general dentist job. So the attorney doesn't have the knowledge, the bandwidth, the desire, or all the components to answer all of those questions. So by you guys pulling this together, that's really what they need. So you can use that for your clients because they would understand that.
Exactly, and I appreciate that. And also to piggyback on that, the CPA they're not going to have access to Dentrix. They're not going to have access to EagleSoft. We have access to EagleSoft. We have access to Dentrix, which is fully automated within the portal that the dentist gets. So we're able to actually go out on a quarterly basis and capture that information, pull it into the portal, use our algorithm, compare it to ADA statistics, and give them a market analysis every quarter. So the market analysis is updated every single quarter, and then on an annual basis, they're given a business valuation. So
Awesome.
every single year, they get a fresh business valuation, quarterly analysis, as I mentioned. And heaven forbid, if they were to pass, we have local practice brokers around the country, nationally, that we can go to with a go-to-market strategy and get that practice on the market within 24 to 48 hours. So they're not waiting, they're not losing anything. Their family is able to capture all the revenue that the father or the mother has worked so hard in that practice to build. So the full product suite covers everything that they're going to need to go to market.
I mean, I'm so glad you guys have created something like this. People can text protect at 215-543-6454 to learn more. I also wanted to share, I was just on a team meeting this morning about sharing with my team the value of having associate dentist and having someone there, because the group that's not talked about enough in this devastation, you got the dentist and the dentist family. Then you talk about the patients who don't have a dentist, but you have this team that's been working there sometimes for decades, and now they've lost their source of income. They've lost their ability to make money. And the team is now left in a difficult, if not impossible position. But when you can act quickly using what you do and go to market and get a temporary dentist in and get the practice sold, you can keep that team in place. Is that another component that you would say makes sense along the way?
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the ancillary products that we're going to be eventually offering is in each of the local communities, we're going to try to build a group of whatever specialist you are, or if you're a GP, that are willing to step in during that time of absence and be able to keep the practice going. So those folks they're not losing their employment. They're not losing their jobs. The practice isn't losing any sort of goodwill. So that is something that we're currently working on, but we haven't rolled it out quite yet.
But what I'm sharing is at least them getting, the practice marketed and getting someone ready to take over would keep the team confident enough to probably keep their jobs. Because if the team scatters, that's disastrous for the family too. So as we kind of have our audience sort of what I call JFO, just find out and move forward. When they text protect to this number, what happens, John? Do they get on a call with you and your team? Do you run through how they do it? Do a demo? Tell us about that.
Well, I mean, all the above, right? So we can do a live chat with them. Everything is fully automated on the website, and I really don't like it when different businesses say just go to our website and you get all the information off of our website. I am actually always available to talk to any dentist.
Awesome.
But they can go to the website. It's fully automated. Sign up. It's only about $2,200. We can break that up into 12 monthly payments. You get a discount with Dental Nachos.
Nice.
The other thing that I also wanted to mention that I didn't mention is estate planning is included in the package. And we have estate planning attorneys all over the country that are dental centric that can work with you at a discounted price if you go with Integrity Practice Protect. So that in itself, if you already have an estate planner, we have an estate planner that can probably save you a bundle because your estate planner has probably not redone your estate in quite some time.
So key too.
We're finding 10, 15, 20 years, dentists have not redone their estate planning. That's a problem.
Well, you have outlined so many reasons why people should move forward and connect with you. Take the time to protect your business from the effed up events in life. I've seen it too often. I've dealt with it personally. I see it professionally. Thank you so much for sharing with us, John. Really means a lot to me.
Thank you very much.
So what an amazing episode of Talking Nachos, where we help you in so many different facets of all the things you need to do to survive, thrive, and not cry as a dentisting human. We have an amazing offer. Text Boost to 215-543-6454. You will learn about our Super Dentist Boost Camp for practice owners that is both in person and online. Thanks so much for being here today.